Anxiety and depression are not just about low serotonin and neurotransmitter imbalance. Okay, that whole theory is shaky at best. So I'm Dr. Adam. I'm a functional medicine doctor, natural healing expert, and I used to actually personally struggle with anxiety myself. When I was younger, I had really severe social anxiety, and I remember that feeling of just constantly being in a state of panic every time I was around other people, and I was so just kind of felt so horrible. I couldn't even wave hello to somebody or smile at a stranger in the street. And it really held me back in every area of my life. So if you're going through this, I know what it feels like. And that's why I want to show you what's really behind these mood issues and what you can do about it. Here's a story that you've probably heard. You feel anxious or depressed because you're missing a few key chemicals in your brain. Low serotonin, for one, causes sadness. Low dopamine, no motivation. And low GABA causes constant anxiety or tension. But here's the issue. This entire theory is based on outdated science. Okay, so we're going to get rid of this right here. Because no one has ever consistently shown that these levels are actually low in people with mood disorders. Now this is what actually affects your mood here. We got to look at the body if you want to see what's actually affecting your brain, your mood, your focus. Okay, and the first thing that's causing it is inflammation. So inflammation starts in your body. It starts in mostly the gut. That's where 80% of your immune system is. Your immune system produces inflammation. And so that will eventually affect the brain if it runs out of control. Okay, so we got to get to the source of inflammation and deal with that. Next is blood sugar. So blood sugar issues, if your sugar is up and it's down, okay, you're gonna feel those crashes with your mood and with your mental focus. Okay, it's gonna be affecting your brain. Your brain uses blood sugar for energy. Okay, so we gotta regulate the blood sugar. Number 3 is hormone imbalances. So think cortisol, the stress hormone. Think about thyroid. If you have thyroid issues, or oftentimes thyroid issues are undiagnosed, a slow thyroid will create problems with mood and focus and dysregulating inflammation in your body and blood sugar. It's all connected here, okay? Then there's estrogen and testosterone. If all these hormones are out of balance, or any one of them, then you're gonna have issues with the brain, with your mood being unstable. And the last part is gut health. If the gut isn't happy, your brain's not gonna be happy, because your gut is actually called the second brain. That's how connected it is to your nervous system. It is a huge piece of it. And there are thousands of nerves that run up and down between your brain and your gut down here, a superhighway, nerves that run both ways, up and down. So they are very deeply connected, and if one isn't happy, the other is not going to be happy. Now your mood is not just about your brain, it's about all 3 pieces of the system: the brain, the immune system, and the gut. And these things don't act separately, as we discussed. Okay? These things act all together. When there's an imbalance in one, it's going to affect the other. So they're all talking to each other, and when one gets inflamed or dysregulated, then the entire triangle is going to be thrown off. And so if this is not being addressed in your current approach to helping yourself feel better, helping yourself trying to feel less stressed and less anxious and more light and just happy all the time, more at peace, then this is probably what's missing. This is what we see in 95% of cases when people work with us to try to regulate their mood naturally. It's because we're missing at least one of these parts from the approach. And you can do this naturally. You just have to make sure all these pieces of the puzzle are being properly addressed. So then, what do we do instead of just taking a pill? Now, we're not against pharmaceuticals. We're not against you taking medication like antidepressants. Sometimes they're necessary. They're just not always useful. Okay? In some cases, it does work. It does help take the edge off for some people. But more often than not, it's not enough to make the difference. Okay, so that's where we need to make sure that you're taking the right approach, that you're addressing all these important pieces of the pyramid here. So here's what we call your mood reboot plan that we've used with hundreds and hundreds of people to help them successfully shift their mood, regain control over how they feel, and be able to live life again. All right, then starting at the bottom here with the base of the pyramid, the first thing to do is to stabilize your blood sugar. Because if your blood sugar is wacky, it's all over the place, it's not stable, you're gonna feel wacky and all over the place. So the best thing you can do here is to increase the amount of protein in your diet, okay? And avoid eating sugar and carb-rich foods, especially first thing in the morning. So first thing in the morning, you want to have a protein-rich breakfast. Start the day with protein. That means eggs, it means even bacon. You know, we're not against that. We're all for it. The good fats and protein, as long as it's quality bacon. And other sources of protein can be any kind of meat. You also want to get fiber in with some vegetables in the morning. I know that that's strange, but that's what we teach our practice members. And once you kick the habit and learn to just change that mindset about what's acceptable for breakfast, it starts to break your pattern and you start to feel the difference. Okay, so stabilizing your blood sugar with protein, that's the most important thing to start out with. Then the next thing that we have to do is deal with the inflammation and lower the inflammation in the body. Okay, stabilizing your blood sugar is going to help with that, as well as ditching processed foods. Get the processed food out of your diet. Focus on anti-inflammatory foods, which are what? Basically whole foods. Whole foods are any food that was provided to you by Mother Nature without having to process it and involve yourself in the making of that food by putting it in a bag, in a factory, a lab, okay? None of that stuff. Fruits, vegetables, and again, meats, animal products. Those are what compose an anti-inflammatory diet, a whole food diet. Third layer here is to heal the gut. Remember, we talked about how the gut is where majority of your immune system lives. So dealing with the inflammation means healing the gut. Take a probiotic-rich supplement if you're not already, a high-quality one. Also make sure that you're using fiber or eating fiber in your diet. So that means vegetables, legumes, nuts, seeds, all those things count as fiber, even fruits. Okay, and sometimes we need to go all the way toward doing advanced testing with some practice members of ours who have really, significant gut issues, digestive issues. We'll do stool testing, and that can tell us a whole lot about the gut if you've never had that done before. It's very interesting. And so working on healing the gut is another one of the foundations, because remember that your gut and your brain are connected. There are many, many nerves connecting the two. So we got to heal the gut if we want to heal the brain. Okay, the next layer of the pyramid here is going to be to regulate stress. Stress is huge here. Stress throws a wrench into every single aspect of your health. It creates inflammation. It ruins your sleep. Your sleep will also play a huge role in how you feel, obviously, and your body's ability to recover. Your brain, your blood sugar, your hormones all are affected by sleep and stress both. So life will always throw stress at you. I think we all know that by now, right? You've been alive long enough to know. And so the important piece here is to learn to react to it differently. Learn skills and habits to become more resilient to the stress in your life. The last piece of the pyramid here at the very top is labs. Do the proper testing. You have to check your labs. Look at your hormones, look at inflammation, look at gut health. Not just thinking about your neurotransmitters like serotonin. We got to look at the whole picture. And that's why we do very comprehensive testing on everyone that we work with. And we often find missing answers hidden in those labs. Okay, so if you're someone who needs some help with implementing any of these layers of the pyramid, if you've never had comprehensive testing done, head over to our website in the link below and you can find some information about how you can get started with that and to figure out what the heck is going on here so we can finally help you to regain control over your body, your mind, the way you feel. So your brain chemistry is a downstream effect, okay? It's not the root cause. Inflammation, blood sugar, hormones, gut health, these are the real levers that you can pull if you want to make a difference with your health and the way you feel every day. So you can finally feel that peace, finally feel that ease again, feel like yourself again. Okay, so if you're done being told that it's all in your head, then check out the link in the description below. Again, we help men and women to get to the root cause and finally feel like themselves again. So subscribe and like the video if this was helpful. Send it to someone who needs to know this, needs to hear this, who is struggling with these things right now and needs a better approach. And we'll see you in the next one for more natural healing tips.